And that language of what's transactional, like I need you to give me this before I give you that, which is I think what we have a tendency to do, versus transformational, and where it's like the best for the student, the best for Julian. And I look back on that, and if we could both go back in time, what I should have been pursuing with you is, what does 14-year-old or 15-year-old Julian need?
Mm.
What do you think that conversation would have looked like?
I probably would have been like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Go D1. That's what I would have said. I'll go D1. That's probably what I said. Go D1. I'll go D1. You know? But it's just like, now that I'm older, I can understand that. Like, it wasn't just to go D1. I would much rather just to be a staple of my family, so I can switch our narrative. You know? Now I can see that perspective is, yeah, it was to go D1. It helped to go on D1, but that wasn't my end all be all goal. I just thought that was. So my goal changed as I realized that this wasn't my end all be all. You know, and so I know a lot of students, they won't know that. A lot of kids won't know that because right now, especially from an athlete's perspective, D1 is everything. It's D1 or nothing. And that's not good to have, but it is, that's the mindset of it all, you know? And so I think a lot of people struggle with that. And I wish it wasn't like that, because I used to think the same way. You know, I was D1 or nothing. So I wouldn't even try to talk to those D2 coaches, because I was like, I was D1 or nothing.
Right.
From the transactional portion of it, it was like, if I wasn't producing, I felt like I wasn't getting. Or if it was, and that's not just me. I heard that from other people. You know, they felt like they weren't getting the same.
Right.
You know, but like they weren't getting noticed. We're not getting recruited. We're not getting this. Why am I'm not producing? Why is not this? But it's like the whole point of it was, you know, to get an opportunity.
What's the most critical thing? Is it the moving towards and like trying to build the relationship? Is it stable consistency? You know, where you're like helping a kid and you're checking in and you're, you know, like, what do you think really matters at that age?
I would say, like, even from like at the same time, it's kind of like recruiting. You know what I mean? So like the recruiting process was, I'm getting 15 different texts from each coach saying, "Oh, hey, how's your family? How's your brother? How's this? How's that?" You know what I mean?
Right.
But as soon as I get here, or as soon as I go over there, and I tell you I don't want to come, it just stops.
Yeah.
You know what I
Gosh, I
mean?
hated recruiting.
And it shouldn't, because it should just continue to keep going. So it's like you continue to build that relationship with your players. You should continue saying, "Hey," and really actually digesting those conversations. Like, you know, if he tells you something, don't just be like, "Oh, okay." You know what I mean? So if he tells you something that probably wants to lead to something else, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's an opportunity to actually learn, but also follow up. I think it's just more like, how's your family? Are they doing good? You know, you can do that. You don't have to do it all the time, but I mean, just at least try. You know what I mean? I think that's what the most important part. But then you can actually learn your athletes, and you can actually learn your students. I don't even like saying athletes sometimes, honestly.
Right.
I'd rather you just learn your players. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think racially that moves the needle. If we're crossing cultures, man, I feel like that moves the needle so much more when the adult takes on the role of a learner.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that's been the biggest blessing in our relationship, is that I think I discovered, like, hey, I got to let Julian coach me.
I dropped a couple of bombs on you, man. I'm like,
And we'll get to that in the future.
I talk to you.
We're gonna talk through some of those things, because there's some great stories there. But